Hi and welcome back here to my channel. It is Q&A Friday, and for today's question I'm going to go over the safety controller software. We just finished our safety classes, our safety seminar tour in the Texas area, where we brought in a bunch of people. We brought in our banner engineering guy from the factory who is well versed in safety. And there were some questions that I wanted to just create a tutorial for, because it seems like it might be a common thread here. So let's go ahead and build a example here in the safety controller environment software. So let's go ahead and add some equipment. The first thing I want to show is how to add a standard e-stop with a latch reset function block. So in this case, and we have an e-stop, and you'll notice they're usually dual redundant, so the software does a pretty good job of coming up with the most common wiring diagram. So in this case, it automatically assigns it to the terminals, and this is a really good way to just check your work as well. It's very useful. So I'll just click OK to that. So that's my hardware. I'm going to need a manual reset button, right? So I'll go ahead and add another, and that's going to be under the non-safety inputs. Here's a manual reset, and again it automatically assigns it, but I can change the terminal if I've already wired this up. This is going to be a single channel, just a discrete input, a regular touch button. I'm going to click OK. And that's going to be pretty much all the hardware. Now I have to make the logic. So I'm going to click on the functional element block here in the middle. I can click anywhere. And notice I have some logic blocks, but then I have these built-in function blocks, which Banner has just done a really good job with this software. And I'm going to click on the latch reset block, and this takes care of all the logic involving this. So I'll click OK, and if I have a question, I don't know how to use a function block, I can click on this info button, and it's going to give me the manual and explain to me what each of those designations are. So that's really, really helpful. Okay, so I literally just have to connect the dots here. My e-stop is going to my input, that's what's going in. And then my reset button is tied here to the latch reset input. And then I'm just going to connect this to an output. And that's pretty much it. That's how you would do that. So if you have multiple e-stops, how would I do that now? So let me move this around a little bit and bring this over here. Maybe I have about 3 e-stops that I have around a working cell. So let me go ahead and just add those e-stops now. Let's see if I have enough room for another one. I do. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click on that line, and I'll just push the delete button on my keyboard, and I have to AND these together. So that's kind of one of the confusing things that people might get mixed up with PLC logic versus the safety controller logic. In the PLC world, you're usually going to use like an OR, but in this case, we're actually going to use an AND, because we don't want, if any of them go off, I want to shut down my machine. So in this case, we have 3 e-stops, so I'm going to need 3 inputs. It does have a limit of 5, so if you need more than that, you just keep adding ANDs. So I'll click OK, and I'll just bring all of those into that logic block, and I'll tie the end of that logic block here to my input side, and that's how you would do multiple e-stops with the latch reset. So this is ready to go. If I wasn't sure that this logic wasn't working, I can go ahead and use the simulation mode function that we have in our software. If I click OK and the play button on the simulator, let me put everything in a good condition, and let me do a reset. Okay, so if any of these turn off, my relay has to turn off, right? So that looks like it works well, but it's not going to turn back on unless I give it a reset, and that's part of your risk assessment, you have to assess, and that's, I mean, really why you want the latch reset, right? So if I click on any of these, same deal, same situation. If I have multiple of these go bad and I reset, nothing's gonna change, right? So I have to clear them all, then do a reset. So we notice that it does work. So this logic is good and I'm ready to download. Now I do also want to point out that if you go to the folder icon, you'll notice that we have sample projects already in here. So if you ever have any similar applications here, you can go to these and kind of backwards engineer how to program some of your safety applications. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.